5 teams to watch, Northern Premier League, Premier Division. Yes, hello everyone and welcome to the latest edition of 5 teams to watch, and in this video we are covering the Northern Premier League Premier Division. Now, as I always do with these videos, I will reiterate that this is not in any way, shape or form a predictions video, and unlike when I did these videos last year, the selection of teams is done in no particular order. So let's get the ball rolling with this one, and you've probably guessed already that they'd be involved in this particular video, but the first team I do want to talk about is, of course, Blyth Spartans. Yeah, it's just an absolute, it's a car crash what's going on there at a minute. If truth be known, not like people still aren't certain if they're even going to have like enough players to even like be able to select a starting 11 for the first game of the season. Certainly at this stage, it's looking like they might not be able to fill a bench, and the players that they have got, you just look at them and you think, is this really a team that will be able to compete at this level? Because you look at their pre-season results so far. I mean, I know they're not the be-all and end-all, but obviously Gateshead made pretty light work of them. North Shields did as well. Concert by all accounts. So it's really not looking good for that club at the minute. The fans have got a lot of questions, and I think that the right to ask those questions as well, because it just seems to be going from one thing to another. A lot of uncertainty on the pitch, a lot of uncertainty off the pitch as well. It's really not looking good, and at this stage I'd genuinely put my neck out and say that they're looking almost certain to finish rock bottom of the table. But yeah, it's still early days, and Irfan has to put a lot of minds at ease, prove a lot of people wrong as well. So can he do that? We will obviously find out over time. But yeah, I think putting these in this video was something of a no-brainer, really. So the next team we are going to talk about is a team that at the start of the summer looked as though they were having quite a notable recruitment drive, and it is Guiseley, a team that I'd maybe personally usually associate with maybe National League North. They did have a few years in the National League in the mid 2010s, but have obviously slipped down 2 divisions since then. But the recruitment so far this summer has looked decent, and I think that they could maybe push on and potentially getting those playoffs. Who knows? But yeah, I think given how long they were sort of above this level for, I think that maybe is something of a desire for them to get out of this league, and could this be the year when they'll maybe start pushing towards that? Who knows? But yeah, I think that is something you definitely need to keep your eye out for. So next up, it might seem a little bit biased given that I do have a pretty decent personal relationship with this club, and I do often want them to do well, and it is Whitby Town, almost ever presence in this league, really, isn't it? I think they surely must be among if you take out the obvious in a Premier League aside, they must be one of the teams in this country that are up there for spending the longest in the same division. They just seem to have been in this league forever. But I think there has been signs maybe on and off over the last few seasons of them flirting a little bit with playoff spaces. They had a good season last year. They were up there for quite a long time. They had their FA Cup run. They won the North Riding Senior Cup. So there is momentum behind that club, and I do like Nathan Haslam as a manager. I think he's done an excellent job at Whitby. So could this be the year that you maybe see them kick on a bit more? The Turnbull ground, it's never ever going to be an easy place to go. A lot of the time you like playing against the elements even in the height of summer when you go at that ground. But one thing you can guarantee with Whitby is that they will always work hard for each other. As we said, and you're never ever going to get an easy game off them. So could they potentially push on this year? Who knows? And next up, it is a club who the pressure is most definitely on this year, and it is Macclesfield FC. I think it's an extremely bold move from Robbie Savage to appoint himself as manager. I think a lot of people will be maybe saying that's a bit of an ego trip and what have you, but I think if you're making a decision like that, if you're backing yourself like that, then you've talk the talk, and now you've got to walk the walk. It's no hidden secret. Macclesfield's considerable budget compared to a lot of the other teams in that league, obviously playing full time as well. Lost out in a playoff final last season, lost out in the FA Trophy semi final. This is a club that are you could maybe argue like with the calibre of players that they got, like maybe a National League team playing maybe 2 leagues below the station, but at the same time they've got to merit themselves getting out of this division and into the National League North. So yeah, I think if the pressure was on Macclesfield last year, then it's gone up like almost tenfold again this year. And last but not least, it is a team that maybe over the last couple of years or so has shown signs that they are maybe working their way up the leagues, and it is Worksop Town. You may remember about a decade or so ago, they had, I think, did they take voluntary double relegation, or was it forced upon them? But either way, they went straight from the Northern Premier League Premier Division into the Northern Counties East League. Spent quite a few maybe long and frustrating years there. I think when they're at that level, they probably were regarded as one of the big teams at that level, but they got themselves out of it, and then obviously got themselves out of the Northern Premier League East Division as well, and settled into life in the Northern Premier League Premier almost seamlessly, got into the playoffs and lost out in the end. But I think a club that are definitely on the up, and a ground that I maybe wouldn't mind visiting one day. I've personally not watched them play for quite a long time, so I feel as though I maybe got to put that right at some point as well. Obviously, can't forget had their FA Cup run last year as well, eventually resulting in a plum tie at League 2 champion Stockport County. So can they build on that this year and possibly even go one step further? Who knows? But that is that for this video, and I'll be back tomorrow night, and the Heat are back for what is probably going to be the final friendly of the summer, and it's a home game against Carlisle United. So until then, take care, cheers for watching, see you later.